Midwest.
got the nap town.
Mm.
You know, shout out to the nap town. Northeast coast, that's quite broad, but okay. So, don't want to be specific because everybody's stalking you, right? Um, yeah,
Shout out AR.
yeah,
Don't mind JR.
yeah. I gotta be careful. Can't let nobody know where I'm from. I'm from the Northeast. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, here in Atlanta, guys, right now it is currently 66 degrees, but it feels like it is 76. It is currently 9:24 in the morning. It is May 12th. Is it May 12th?
It is.
May
Tis
12th?
the 12th.
May 12th, 2025. You guys can probably see the sunshine in the background. There's a 90% chance of rain right now wherever you're at. Potential thunderstorms. It's supposed to be partly cloudy here from 10 to 11. At noon, supposed to be thunderstorms. Atlanta, you could be wherever. So, you could be raining here, other places, but 40% chance. And then once again, warm. It's supposed to be a high of 74 today. So, and then thunderstorms later tonight, starting at 7, 50% chance of thunderstorms. But looking like overcast for the most part today, guys. But it's still a beautiful day.
It can't all be sunny. All be sunny.
Can't always, but we got a little bit out there. I don't know if you probably, well, you got the blinds closed, so you probably can't really see.
Oh, I came out. I just came from out there. It was still raining around these parts. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Let's got some Floridians. Shout out to Angela representing that Tampa. Damn it, man! It did rain all weekend. Damn it! It damn sure did. Shout out to you, sir.
I feel you. That as a 53-year-old brother who don't have social media, you got to, man. You got to get out there. You got to check the temperature. What is it called? The pulse, the social pulse.
Hey, man, but think about how lovely it is though when you skip the country or whatever and you get disconnected.
Yeah,
I remember. I think it was last year.
Costa Rica.
I went to Costa Rica and I left my phone in the airport. Like literally, I was in that damn country for 15 minutes and lost my phone. And I was there for a week and a half. And I was hot for about 24 hours because I'm like, I can't post. I can't. And you know what? After about 24 hours, it was bliss.
You let it go.
You had to get back in it though. But you need a break though too from it sometimes. So it's nice to have a good balance of that.
Had to let it go, huh?
But it was forced though, because I lost my phone.
It was forced.
Yeah, it was forced. But I feel you, Mr. Tatum, on the a little bit on the non-social media because it can be a bit much, man. But I feel JR though, especially if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, make moves, do things, or whatever of that nature, then it's a necessary evil of a tools.
Yeah, so, if you trapping from your phone like me. You know what I'm saying? I be trapping from my phone, so I gotta have it with me. And I'd be like, I told you, I flew back to Charleston one time, and I left my Mac here.
Oh,
so I had to do, my Mac to work.
Yeah,
so I had to go into Best Buy and buy a new Mac.
Yeah,
just so I can get work done because that'd be money that I would be losing. So, sometimes if that's the case, you got to go ahead and do that, man. But yeah, man. It's crazy, but that's good to disconnect, let's just say you put the phone down, don't touch it, just take it all in and just let days go by like they used to.
Like they used to.
Social media and all this stuff. But listen, guys, we're gonna be discussing some topics here. I don't even think quite one of the social topics that I wanted to discuss.
That's my favorite when I don't know.
And so I'm gonna get your opinion as well as people's opinion that's watching. And who's ever watching on YouTube, you probably see it in the title. What I'm gonna ask QT Dub here shortly. But guys, this is a live call-in show. If you have an opinion or you want to share your thoughts on anything, the link button is pinned in the chat in blue. So feel free to click that link, call in, express your thoughts, feelings, gripes, all that other stuff. Be glad to hear from you. But before I get into this topic here, man, have you heard of? Because once we get off here, I'm going to record a couple videos, and one of them, just hit me. They're always coming out with new stuff. Have you heard of this thing called a lavender marriage?
See, I almost feel like I may have heard of it, and I can't exactly remember exactly what it is. It's not one of these like convenience marriages where they're not really married, but they just partnering up to like divide everything. Is that this?
Somewhat.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So what? Yeah, give it to me in detail.
I'm gonna read what AI Google said.
Okay. All right.
The reason why I'm asking this because I was just scrolling through TikTok this morning, or maybe it was Instagram, but I was scrolling through TikTok or Instagram, one of the two, and I just saw this woman with this guy, and it was just like. But anyway, I'm gonna read it. A lavender marriage refers to a union between a heterosexual and a homosexual person, often arranged to conceal the latter's sexual orientation. It's a marriage of convenience used to navigate societal expectations or legal issues related to LGBTQ plus identity.
Okay.
In this video in particular, and I'm gonna get into this. I don't want to play it because I'm actually gonna be doing it later.
Got it. Yeah.
This woman goes on a trip to Greece. I think she went to Mykonos, so maybe she's putting up all the islands there.
Beautiful.
And, she went with this dude, and I was just watching it, and the dude looked super flamboyant. You know, so they went on this vacation together. You know, she's living her best life. They all on each other. He's looking, you know, he looks like you know, he plays for that team, right?
Yeah.
So when the video was over and all said and done and they were going back, she's like, you know, we met up with some other couples while we were out here, and when we were done, he went back home to his husband. I was like, and she was like, so this is our lavender marriage or whatever. So I didn't do it. So people were in the comments. They was like, well, what is this? What are you talking about, lavender? She was like, well, you can look it up on TikTok if you're so about what a lavender marriage is or lavender wedding. So I know some people refer to it as beards, you know, having a beard. Have you heard that term?
I sort of you would, man. I would think I'm like would know be up on more so some of this social stuff, but I don't know if I heard the beard term either.
So a dude, same aspect. You know, a lot of these dudes, some of them, you know, for political reasons or whatever, they'll get with a woman. And the woman acts as his beard, i.e., make him look.
Got it. That's the kind of the reference.
He's really clapping a man's cheeks, or he's getting clapped by a man.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was interesting because these conversations, I think, I believe. Women, I just did a video saying that women are I think most women are bi-curious, in my opinion. Most of them, not all of them, most of them are. And they have a thing for men of that community. A lot of times they're like strangely attracted to them. They're married to them a lot in these cases. And they know that these men are dealing with other men while they're married to them. And you see so many of these stories come out about, you know, he was this all along, and it's the first slur or insult that they call men whenever a man is critical of a woman. That's the first thing they call him, sassy. You know, which is basically you're trying to say that he's, you know, of that, you know, by acting like a woman or whatever. But the fact that these women are getting on and knowingly getting into full on marriages and relationships with these type of guys is strange. So I just thought I saw it. I was like, wow, this is something new. This is something
is it really that strange? I don't think it's that strange from the woman's aspect.
Right.
Because think about how many benefits there are to that relationship.
For sure.
It's a safe relationship, right?
Not really.
For her, it is.
Okay.
As far as, you know what I'm saying, beaters, so to speak. I'm not talking about a whole connotation of, because sometimes who's to say actually too that they're even active. You see what I'm saying?
True. Yeah,
see what I'm saying? We're talking about lavender and beards or whatever. It doesn't even mean that they're active like that. Everything
nobody's getting clapped.
Exactly for a show. So she gets the benefit of safe, good times, okay, travel, a companion. That T word that you use, it starts with T, ends with an N, has a P in the middle, emotional, right? She gets that, okay? Also, these guys from this community tend to do what? They tend to be ultra organized and professional, AKA, which leads to success, which leads to discretionary income, okay? there's a lot of benefits when you know initially when you're like,
and
it seems
networking.
strange to me. Yes, when you start thinking about it, it's not that strange. It's actually a great kind of benefit for them. And then of course this guy gets the facade that he may need for a profession, for the military, for whatever it is he needs it for. Because AR brought up a good comment, because that answered my question, because I was like, is a lavender marriage or a beard even necessary? And then in the comments, they have that this started probably back in the 50s. And it was like when the connotation of that, of being in that group was highly more, negative, so to speak.
Right.
And I could see a resurgence of these arrangements coming up now that a lot of these democratic policies have been flipped on its head. Yeah. And now the current administration and the current outlook on the country, overall isn't as favorable. So I could see lavender and beards making a comeback. I could see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got to be robots. And like at first we could be out, right? Everybody made it cool to be out and it was rainbows everywhere. Now we got to be robots in disguise again. It's time for Transformers.
Those are definitely some good points. Everything you said, those are some pluses. And then the fact that, the networking that you have, the connections, and that's even connections to other women, for lack of a better term, because these guys draw a crowd. You know what I mean?
They do. They're huge. I mean, think about them. In our community, now I'm going to make it specific to ours. A lot of them are connected to entertainment, hair, makeup, stuff like that. All of these things are valuable to females.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just thought I never heard that term, but I guess
I hadn't heard of the term. Yeah. But that what they're doing, I can get why they're doing it. Let's think about it. That lady that you saw the video, she had a great time. She may not even been able to go to Greece by herself.
Yeah. This is true.
Everybody doesn't get to go to fucking Greece.
Don't get to go to Greece, and don't want to go by herself.
Yeah. And think about it. If I take you to Greece, or JR takes you to Greece, or half the dudes in this chat takes you to Greece, you're going to have to worry about getting humped on. The entire Grecian experience. She didn't have to worry about that. She lived, like you said, she lived her best life.
Yeah. And the guy that you want to hump on can't take you there. You would have to take him there. Yeah. That she really want to. Yeah, unfortunately. So shout out to those in the lavender marriage.
Shout out to the beards.
And the beards, yeah. The ladies who like, hey, I got to get married somehow, even though I know,
You know what I'm saying?
No diddy.
Yeah. No doubt.
No diddy, no doubt. A history of purple and relationship anarchy. Wow. That's what's up. But in other news, man, while we're talking about these relationships, in your opinion, because you've been around for a while, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Thank you for that. You up in age a little bit, you know what I mean?
I am.
At this point in life, for you, when you come across, if you meet a new young tenderoni, or a nice little young thing, nice little young lady or whatever, or a nice little old lady, right? What would be some non-negotiables for you as far as entering into a relationship, a serious relationship with someone? What are some non-negotiables for you at this wise age that you're at?
In this age,
yeah,
non-negotiable, and we're talking about serious time spending.
We're talking about getting into a relationship.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we're talking about relationship. It's displays of selfishness.
Okay,
that's it.
Bad breath is cool.
I mean, come on. We're I'm talking about personality. All right, we ain't talking about hygiene and upkeep. I'm gonna say that's a given. That's there if we're considering being into a for real relationship and whatnot. But characteristic wise, it's selfishness. If I pick up that everything is about you, then I know that there's not any way to have a unified, experience going forward, because then everything's always going to be centered around you. I'm meaning that everything, that means me, jobs, the community, everybody we come in contact with, and that gets tiring. I'm not going to want to do it, right? I'm going to need something filled into me every once in a while. And if this whole thing is about you, not going to work. Not for me. And in this stage in my life. Now, again, at 20, you don't care if a chick's like that, because just to have access to them, again, we'll put on the court jester hat and put on big nose and shoes and stuff just to be doing that. Thank you. But at this age, at 50, not doing it.
At what age again?
50, as a sense.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
Yeah. So selfishness, number one off top. I definitely agree, man. And it's funny you said that, because there was a video I think it was like a couple days ago. This guy was demonstrating or doing like a skit of him being on the phone with a baddie.
Okay.
Right. And in this video, while he's on the phone with the baddie, she's just talking nonstop about herself and what she's got going on and all this stuff like that. And as soon as he goes to like say, yeah, well, you know, such and such, she gets quiet, and then she says, "Where's my Amazon package at?"
Yep.
And I'm just like, he hit it on the head, because that's when you're dealing with, and I won't just say a baddie, but really a baddie. That's pretty much what it is. If you ain't talking about her, or you're not listening to her, or what she got going on, she don't give a damn. Won't ask you one question about you or care anything about you, what you got going on. It's just all about her. And that is something where it's just like, bro, that shit does get old, man.
And how are you supposed to have a for real relationship like that?
Exactly. A unilateral relationship. Yeah.
And the thing is you know my man Murph, you met him before, and we talk about this sometimes, about that kind of selfish me attitude. And in a way, we'll kind of put our capes on, you know, for lack of a better term, for our women nowadays, because we almost identify it quasi not being their fault, especially initially, because they're brought up that way. And we all do it. And when I say we, I mean the men in the family do it as well. As soon as they come out, they're little princesses. As soon as they come out, they haven't done anything, right? They haven't shown any kind of extreme kindness and all the little things that would make them little princesses. But as soon as they pop out, they're a little princess. Okay. Everything is about them from the jump. You want to go to a homecoming dance? You better go ask that little girl. You want to go to the prom? You better go get on the football team and become captain and see if everything is. And then once you infuse corporate America into it, who all they want to do is make money. Right. Who's the number one consumer in the country? Well, I'll give you a clue. We're outnumbered. We're outnumbered by 7 million. All right. So as a corporation, I'm going to tell you, honey, girlfriend, you deserve everything. You can have it all. It's all about you. If he can't step up to the plate yes, I'm going to say it, whether I'm selling makeup, toilet paper, cars, whatever. All right. So when they get this much programming, how do you become a selfless individual? Yeah. You're right. Then you don't even want to start talking about the social media and how social media tell you everything you deserve as a female and what you shouldn't settle for. And when you're bombarded with that for years, not a day or an hour, for years, they're bombarded with that for years. How are they supposed to be selfless? Everything tells them opposite. Most of the chicks that they see that are successful, they're opposite. They're not selfless individuals that's getting to the bag.
This is true.
So how am I supposed to frame myself like that? So that's why when you do find this female that is selfless, you might need to pay attention to that and maybe not so much the packaging she's inside of. That's what happens that a lot of us dudes are complaining about. We're complaining about our experiences with these baddies.
Because
we gotta have them. We gotta have the yams, baby. Gotta have them yams, bro.
They're duds. Like I
on
said,
the inside.
Yeah.
Because we programmed them that way. It's all about you, girl. Till I get what I want.
And it's still,
did I say that part out loud?
When you get what you want, it's still a dud.
Mm-hmm.
But you still stick with it because she's pretty, even if it is a dud. Or you may get it once in a blue moon. It's like a new toy. You know what I'm saying? I get to show it off. You know, I really don't get to take it out the package every now and then.
It's a collector's item.
Yeah, that's it. Don't talk, don't do nothing. I'm just here to
look. So what about yours? What's your in a serious relationship non-negotiable? And also in the chat, what's y'all's non-negotiables? What's y'all's non-negotiables? What will y'all not stand for in this day and age? Both sides. And regardless of your age, but he did put it as us old folks though.
Yeah, man. The older you live and you learn. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, man. That selfishness is definitely not going to be a unilateral situation.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you on that one. That's definitely one of them. And I get turned off quick by that. If that's the case, I don't think I could ever rock with somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you don't like me. If I feel like you don't like me, then I can't be with somebody that don't like me. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because it feel like you're just doing too much. The other thing is communication. Communication is very important to me. In all aspects. That stonewalling and that's I'm not talking or I'm going through some shit or I don't have to communicate with you how I'm feeling or you just if I feel like it's just one way again unilateral where I'm the only person that's reaching out and it's just like that's not happening that way. You know what I mean? I noticed that's kind of like a consistent thing a lot of times with some women, that whole issue, and the passive aggressiveness, someone who's passive aggressive and someone who can't communicate their feelings for sure. Communication and just communicating your feelings or making assumptions and stuff like that. That's a non-negotiable when it comes to that. We got to send you on your way because we really don't have time for that, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We really don't. But a lot of people be trying to reason with people. And as you said, the character, you're trying to say, well, maybe I can get this person to come around or talk to me, or you forcing them to talk to you. And man.
Yo. No, dog, you right on par with what I'm talking about. I'm looking in the comments. I'm like, they are like, Trey is horrible. Trey is like, yo, off the jump. If I see anything manufactured, it's a no-go. Like, no kids, no go. But
I know we wasn't talking about that physical. Yeah, go ahead. I know you didn't say it, but I can definitely get into that shit.
Oh yeah, but I was just saying too. Shout out to Alan in the comments because that's probably right behind my my selfishness cutoff, and that is house upkeep. So like if you post a picture and I see shit all in the background, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Because that's telling me something. I'm like, you keep everything in disarray, typically everything about your life is going to be like that. You got drawers and socks all in the background. You know what I'm saying? Just because you got a nice butt shot, I see the socks. And so I don't know how you get into a serious relationship with that going on either, because if you are, especially like as an ex-military person, most of the time you're pretty neat and keep things, pretty much in order. And you get with somebody that just leave junk around everywhere. It's like, that's not going to work either.
Leave junk around. I told you one time, man, I was at a girl place. She had cookies and soda. Did I tell you that?
No.
Like in her bedroom, she had like a jar of candy, like she would drink a lot of Cokes and shit, a bunch of sodas and shit.
All in the bedroom.
All in the bedroom. And I'm just like, oh no, baby. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of y'all women watching now, y'all living like that. Y'all probably on y'all bed right now with your phone right there, and you probably got Waffle House. Yeah, Waffle House plate with the with your eggs and whatnot, and you got a drink right here and a cup of coffee right here, and
laundry over in the corner.
Ashed out blunt, in your quick trip cup right there, living your best life on Facebook right now, waiting for your kids to get out of school. You know what I'm saying? So let me stop that, man. But
I just saw. Did I see DWC? I did. What is up, DWC? Dear Road Christian in the building. What's happening with you, sir?
Shout out. Yeah, but that, man, we get into like the funk and all that. Yeah, definitely. The wigs is a no-go. The extendo lashes is a no-go. I can deal with the lashes as long as it's not the snuffleupagus.
Yeah. I mean, a nice regular like quarter-inch lash is nice, especially in a dressy up environment. But when you go full 1 inches off of your face, like who is that for? What is that for?
Yeah, hey, that excessive makeup, all that stuff, man. Yeah, we can't do that. Bad breath. A smoker that you know is a smoker.
The miles, baby.
Say what?
Black and miles, baby.
No Black and Miles, man. You know, got the weed lips and stuff like that. Yeah, we gotta cut that out. If you can't tell she smokes, I mean, it's still a reflection of her health, though. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But
somebody hit with the bull nose ring.
Yeah.
Okay, that is one for.
That's the septum. Yeah, the septum ring.
Yeah, I got a ex coworker that posts, and she's a sister, and I actually trained her and mentored her at an old job, and she posts, man, she got this bull ring in now, and I just every time I see it, I just be like, please take that out your ear, please. I mean, out your nose, bro. I'm like, you are limited in your prospects, big time.
And then when they have it all crooked too, you ever see it? They'll have it like. It'll be crooked to like once. I'm like, you gonna wear it and it's crooked.
Stop with that.
Yeah. Ladies, less is more. You know what I mean? You don't have to be wearing these this excessive stuff, the makeup and things like that, because it really, you're hiding from something. You're hiding from the world. You know what I mean? And your ego. If you can't ever leave the house without being in costume, I mean, who are you at the end of the day? And it's not to make fun of women, it's just for you to think about it. Like, who are you if you can never leave the house without being in costume? Especially, and you want a man to pay for something that's not even you. He has to upkeep something that's not even you. And I'm investing in something that a woman that has to leave the house with all this stuff on and this up here.
It is
for a costume.
Yep, and it is a form of manipulation, like Trey said in the comments. Mm-hmm.
I don't find that stuff attractive though. That's me personally. I don't find women do that for makeup, but I don't find that those wigs and in the scalp, the fake baby hairs, and they got to take the makeup, they got to take the toothbrush and brush it down. Then they got to take the makeup and put it right here. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and then that stuff stinks. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you ever laid next to a woman with that. But it doesn't smell good, bro. It doesn't smell good. You know what I mean? That stuff is terrible. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how fresh you get it, even if you do get it done every week. Because you got to think. Imagine how much on a hot day outside. I'm not
stop. Please stop.
I'm just painting a picture for you. I'm painting an illustration for you, right? If I go out there right now, you out there with that hat on, even on a hot day, right, with that hat on, and you got some breathing room. You have breathing room in that hat, right? Mm-hmm. But you throw on a whole damn piece of stocking over there, and you put this thing on there. And that's just steaming under there. Sweat, steaming, and there's no way for it to escape.
And I just saw in the chat that most folks are in the Southeast. We talking Georgia, Florida. So I'm just helping you paint that picture. Let's go July, August with that scenario you just laid down.
Them girls going to Dubai with that stuff on their head. It's 150 degrees out there, and they be having them. No, let's skip all that. They're in the gym. Girls have gym wigs. I don't know if you know that. I've seen them. They have a wig that they wear to work, and then they have a wig that they wear to the gym. So not only that, they have that and a hat on top of that.
I'm surprised more of these don't faint.
Exactly. I'd be like, how do you like? I don't wear hats, and when I do wear a hat, I'd be like, my head be smoking.
Got it.
And I wear it, and it's loose. It's not like a tight, tight fitted hat. So I'm like, goodness, man, sheesh. But yeah, that's a no-go, man. I can't rock
Yeah.
with somebody that doesn't like how they look. You know what I mean? That has to throw on all this other stuff. I can't get jiggy with it. You know
Can't
what I
get
mean?
jiggy with this
No, I can't get jiggy with
courtships.
it at all.
I'm done, Nick. Nick B, man. Silly.
You know, a woman that doesn't wash frequently, she gotta be washing, you know, regularly. You know what I mean? But non-negotiables, bro. You gotta. I think those are like some of the biggest ones, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you gotta. You know, the self-centered, as you say. You know, all about them. Doesn't communicate when I want to communicate. You know, nah.
King Zeal said my wife asked for a wig. I laughed in her face.
Tell your girlfriend to go buy it. You know.
Oh my God.
Tell your girlfriend to go buy that wig, baby, or go borrow one of hers, but you're not wearing it in here.
Peace to Don. What's happening?
You know, so, yeah. But let me get off these wigs because they be like, what concern is of it?
Yeah.
Hey, this is what we're talking about, our, you know, preferences and our non-negotiables. So if I want to talk about a wig, that's what I want to talk about.
Because we know on the other channels they talking about 6 feet and 6 figures. So and that's perfectly okay. Everybody's fine, you know, is allowed to have their preferences.
What did my man say the other day? Only 6% of black men make 100K? I think that's what I saw. The latest stat was only 6%.
That's probably about right.
6%, and when we're talking about black men, and even white men, obviously is you know, maybe
12 or something.
Yeah, maybe, you know, a little higher, but just that unrealistic. People don't even know what 100K looks like.
Wow, you had it on the money. 6%.
It is? Okay.
Oh, but see, this actually doesn't say men. It says Black Americans. So that's black all Americans. Of us.
Got you, man. Well, let me get off that, man. Anyway, you heard I know we was discussing offline, man. So Trump's been making a lot of moves, man. You know.
Yeah.
And you know, I was bringing to your attention. I know I was asking if you heard about it or whatever, about this whole self-deportation thing.
Yeah, I didn't, but please elaborate again for the live studio audience.
And it was funny as hell. If I could find the video, I'll probably pull it up, man. But Trump was like, "Yo," from my memory, you guys can correct me in the comments. My man was like, "Yo, all y'all illegals, you know, you can wait to get caught by ICE, or you can self-deport to the country of your choice, and we'll give you $1,000. You can go to any airport." And no, I'm assuming what he means by that is any major airport, not some, you know, whatever. And they'll take care of you. Just say I'm an illegal immigrant. This shit, I hate to be laughing, but just imagine that. Hey, I'm an illegal immigrant, and I'm here to, and then an ICE person put you right in handcuffs, and at that point, but I don't know, whatever the process is, but he'll give you $1,000, and you can go wherever you want. He was like, "You just can't be here." He even said that. He's like, "No, you just can't be here. We'll get you up out of here because you costing the taxpayers billions of dollars by being here." You know what I mean? What do you think about that concept, though, of going to the airport and we give you $1,000?
As far as the execution that way, it's probably I don't think it's one of his worst ideas, to be honest. Well, I'm serious. I mean, now, depending on where the quote unquote ticket is to, you know what I'm saying, with that part of the expense, the $1,000 may seem like it's a lot on the surface, but if we're talking about the grand scheme of how much of a budget is incurred with these ICE agents, prosecuting them in court, hold them in facilities, like that $1,000 is probably not as much as it costs per illegal person. So I don't think that that's a big drop in the bucket with that. So as far as that execution, I mean, I think it's a good idea if you're going to have people, you know, take advantage of the amnesty. Again, depending on where the ticket is to. You're like, I want to go to fucking Thailand. That's not going to be good. You know what I mean? That ticket is going to cost a grip.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we just talking to, you know, Central America, whatnot. I don't see why that's a bad idea, especially if it can save money on doing what they're going to do anyway, because you see, they are doing what they're going to do anyway.
They are.
So they can save money and have you go ahead and drop your paraphernalia in the box as you do at the airport before you get on the plane, a little amnesty, then why not? Because it's going to happen anyway. You're going to go to the store, you're going to go to work, you're going to go do something, and it's not going to turn out the way you thought it was that day. So you might as well go to the airport.
Hey, I agree. Grand scheme of things, go to the airport, get your things in order. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to worry about going through like you said, the litigation, all the BS.
I mean, think about it. You planning like, yo, you know what? I had a good run. I've been here 3 or 4 years. I stacked some coins. These folks ain't messing around.
Yeah.
Friday, I'm just gonna go ahead. This is my last week. Mad cervezas this week in the States. I'm gonna go ahead and head to Hartsfield. All right. That's better than I just got off from work.
Yeah.
Stopped to get my case of Modelo.
That's right.
Ice rolled up on the quick trip.
Yeah.
Which like you still going out of here? Which way would you rather have it?
On my own terms, baby.
Yes.
I'm talking about on my own terms. He said you pull up to the quick trip to get a case of Modelo, huh?
Hey, the king of beers, baby.
Yeah.
I got that story later. It's the king of beers.
Man. Yeah.
In the States.
That is, I mean, try to be in control of what you're in control of. You know what I mean? Because but what bothers me, and I think we talked about this like a couple episodes ago.
Okay.
Is the outcry by our sisters in the comments is insane. You know what I'm saying? Is insane. Me just seeing that, and obviously what's it called? Trump derangement syndrome? How does Trump? What's it called?
That's the term a lot of the
he
right
even said it himself. He said it when he was talking about this. He was like, I know the left and all them, they have this Trump derangement syndrome, but hey, it's gonna happen. I got to do this. But that's when I go in the comments and I see this stuff, and a lot of the sisters are talking about, like going off on him and saying all these things about him, the fact that he's doing these things, and it's like, it makes you wonder sometimes, like, should I be upset? What do I need to get upset? Do I need to participate or do this trauma bonding or just be a part of the echo chamber as far as pretending to be upset,
But in most cases, everybody's in some part of an echo chamber. I mean, and I of course, I get this from my channel as an independent, right? So I'm critical of both sides. I appreciate certain things from both sides. So I'm able to look at both of the silos, but everybody, for the most part, consumes their information and they participate in a silo on one side or the other one. So and you're right, we did have this discussion, and I used the analogy for people on the left, right? When I said, no matter how liberal you are, how much of a bleeding heart you have,
right?
You come downstairs on Saturday morning at 6 a.m. and somebody's just sitting in the living room, you're gonna have a problem. No matter how much you understand why they came and all of this stuff, if somebody's sitting in your living room that you did not invite, you're gonna have a problem. So that was the analogy I was using as far as immigration. We can be kind as a nation, but we have rules and we have laws and we are a sovereign nation. So they have to be followed accordingly. And I did add, is there room for reform? Yes, but that's something we have to get to. The laws are what they are right now. So you can't just have people in your living room that you don't know why they're in there, because you're not in control of your household if that's the case, right? Now, but I will say there's two sides to every coin. I'm not going to act like I don't understand why some of these sisters are doing that, because some of them are not just looking at immigration right now in this context. What they're doing is they're ballooning out, and they're ballooning out to the history. They're ballooning out to the history. They're like, okay, well, everybody deport then. They're going to the history. So, and I get where you're like the trauma bonding, and it's like, well, you know, we've experienced trauma by being kidnapped and enslaved, and they've experienced trauma by having land stolen and blah blah blah. That's the rationale and the logic. And so it depends on what chamber you're in at the time if you get the logic or not. So like I say, I can see both sides. I've got an appreciation for both sides.
Right.
So at the same time, we're deporting everybody, right? That's illegals, right? We're not accepting really any new refugees from anywhere. If you currently have a green card, some of these people are still being sent out anyway.
Yeah.
Guess who's welcome right now? South Africans. So that's one of the things that these sisters or anybody that's complaining about this, that's what they're looking at. You're kicking out everybody that's got any kind of melanin in their skin, and then you welcome South Africans. Oh, somebody's got it in the comments.
Yeah.
Afrikaners. So it's complex. This is very complex, and I get why both people are on both sides. Because, like I say, you can't police your house without knowing who's in it.
Right.
But at the same time, we can't act. Well, I'm not going to say we. I'll say I won't act like I don't understand why some of the outcry is there. And then you couple in the fact that this administration knows that they've caught up some citizens in this stuff, and they still haven't released them yet. Even with court orders. See, you can't have stuff like that happen and then expect for there not to be a faction that thinks everything you're doing is suspect and not above board.
Right. I get that. And I've been seeing it's almost as if the consensus in a lot of the comments is that we shouldn't have any borders.
See,
that's what I've been seeing.
Agree with that.
And that's what I've been seeing. And how you were talking about history and historically.
And that's what they're getting at, but it is what it is at this point. Yeah.
And I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, so if we don't, and this is what I need, I think I need a lot of people, but I think the people who, the first generation, not the first generation who came in illegally, they understand the importance of borders, but I don't think the second generation does. Because if you have a land without borders, you know, you're just setting your place up for destruction. You know, and people complain about policies in the United States and things like that. And they want this country, okay, we're free. We have the opportunities to do whatever we want here. We have it's a better way of life, things like that. They're also critical of the United States. And it's almost as if, you know, and I've had conversations with a lot of people who have moved here from other countries, who immigrated here, and they're very critical of the U.S., particularly Black Americans here in the U.S. And it's almost as if a lot of times they want the U.S. to become their country. You know what I mean? To like, well, if the U.S. was more like our country, this, that, but it's like,
if it was more like your country, you wouldn't have left. Exactly.
And it would cease to be the U.S. If we were like you, it would cease to be the U.S. So that's why I'm like, when they talk about we shouldn't have any borders, I just wonder.
Well, and to piggyback on what you're saying right now, to that same demographic that's like, oh, we shouldn't have any borders because of XYZ and blah blah blah. That individual in turn doesn't sometimes pay attention to what they are afforded and how their life goes because of said borders.
Exactly.
And I think that's what gets missed on that part that has the outcry all the time.
If you go next time, and I'm not gonna pull it up here, but next time you see a post like that on immigration or anything on whether it be Instagram, Facebook, whatever, just go to the comments. The overwhelming amount of those comments, and the AI will probably, you know how the AI gives you the synopsis or breakdown of what the comments are saying. They're talking about there should be no borders. I'm just like, this shit, like, what are you talking about? It should be a free for all up in this. You know, I don't know, man.
Let's see how that turn out.
Yeah. So it's amazing. You know, lawlessness. You know, lawlessness to come and go as you please, to just do whatever you want. Corruption at an all-time high. Not to say that, you know, we don't have corruption, but you know, there's a reason why people leave where they left and they come
Exactly.
here.
It's usually governmental regime or it's economic reasons, one or the other one. So it's like, and the thing is, you come to inside of this border to escape that.
And then complain about it a lot. Well, some of them, not everybody, but some of them. But but off of this immigration stuff, I know we're gonna try to keep this short today, man, because I know it's I got acting class at noon today.
Nice.
Yeah. So and I got to record after this. But yeah, you heard about this this executive order that Trump is going to sign or has signed in reference to the reduction in prescription prices by 30 to 80% on some of them. Have you heard about it?
I saw a caption for it, an article, and I'll admit that I did not click it and read it in detail. So I'm aware of it, but I don't know the details of it. So meaning that I don't know what drugs this covers. Is this like all drugs, all pharmaceuticals? Is it like insulin? Is it Ozempic? Like, I'm curious. I'm like, what is it? Do you know? Is this across the board, or what is this looking like? Because it sounds like a great idea.
I'm gonna pull it up here. I think it
and it actually surprises me a little bit too, because I really didn't see this administration messing with anybody's profits. So I'm very interested in finding out what the details are with this. Because the drug company don't play that. They're like, we want our money, son.
Yeah, exactly. And him messing around with that and affecting Medicaid and stuff like that.
Trey's stupid. He said it's about to be skinny chicks everywhere.
Exactly.
Because if you pay for it out of pocket, I think that Ozempic compounding drug would run you about $400 a month.
Yeah, it's like $350.
If you went out of pocket, yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and share the article right here. Stand by, folks.
We got some screw music going on in it. That's that H-Town drip.
Hey. All right.
Hey.
So Trump to sign. Can you see it?
I don't see it yet. I don't think he's sharing. There we go.
My bad.
There we are.
Okay, yeah. All right. Trump to sign drug price executive order. What will it say? Executive order to be signed by Donald Trump Monday, May 12th, will direct his government to take action against discriminatory policies in foreign countries that suppress drug prices abroad. Okay. Department of Health and Human Services to adopt a policy which would set prescription drug prices to match those of comparable countries. I know that's right, because some places like Mexico and Cuba, I think they did all these documentaries about
people taking medical trips. Yeah,
people taking trips to other countries just to get these
medical
drugs.
Trips.
Yeah, to be cut. That would be wow. Drug price, like Viagra. You go to some of these places, you get some Viagra, man. You go to DR, get some Viagra. You know what I'm saying? You pay
the Blue Bombers
like $1 or $2 for a pill.
Like they shots.
Yeah. Drug prices. I don't know how much Viagra costs, like over the whatever. So some of you guys may be able to
yeah, I ain't old enough.
Yeah, I ain't old enough either, man. You know what I'm saying? I just stick to my maca root and my
I ain't old enough.
Yeah, my maca root and my nitric oxide joint and beetroot. He said in a Truth Social post on May 12th, reviving a plan for his first term the day before. In another post, he'd said the prices would be reduced almost immediately 30 to 80%.
Nice.
So it doesn't look like anything specific.
Yeah, like that hadn't happened.
Yeah, looks like it'll be comparable.
Okay, it says, what will it say? What will it say?
Okay. The Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., will set targets for price reductions across all markets in the United States within 30 days, the official said. If adequate progress is not made toward the price reduction targets, the health secretary will impose most favored nation prices via rulemaking according to the official. So that's like that compare price thing or whatever, like Walmart does or whoever does. During his first term, Trump in 2000 pushed a most favored nation rule that would have applied to Medicare payments, but was later rescinded by the Biden administration. Wow. Okay. So drug prices in the U.S. are nearly 3 times higher than 33 comparison countries, according to the 2024 report. 3 times higher. Shout out to capitalism.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, and this is interesting. If he actually does sign something and it gets ratified and passed and all of that good stuff, it will be interesting for me on a political aspect, because this is an act you expect Democrats to do. You don't expect Republicans, who are typically big business, oriented, to go dip into anybody's profits like that. So I'm very surprised to see that, because that's a big hit. The U.S. because these pharmaceutical corporations, they sell these products all over the country. I mean, all over the world, right? But of course, we're the biggest market because we pay the most for them.
Exactly.
So, and if you cut into that, by quote unquote leveling the playing field and making it competitive, globally, they're going to feel that. And where are they going to feel it? In the stock price.
Yes, absolutely. There you have it.
So that's why I'm surprised that this administration is doing that, especially as much as they love the stock market. I'm just saying. So I'm very curious to watch how this plays out. I'm gonna pay attention to this. I'm glad you brought it up.
For sure. I know my son, and this is the craziest thing. He had to take what was that? Whatchamacallit? It's an autoimmune drug, so it's for eczema and asthma.
Okay.
Which are autoimmune diseases or whatever. What was the name of that thing, man? I can't think of the name of it, but anyway, I think one shot or a shot of that medicine was like $10,000 or something.
Nice.
It was something crazy. Like I remember a lady telling me something like that. I don't know why I can't think of it. Dupixent. That's the name of the drug is called. They used to have commercials of it. It's called Dupixent. And it has like an auto injector for it. And I think she said it was like 10,000 for like one of those shots or whatever. It was something crazy, man. When it comes to that.
And I'm pretty sure anywhere outside of the States, it was probably significantly cheaper.
For sure. Absolutely. When it comes to that, man. So, and even just the other medications, man, with if you want to get into chemo and things like that when it comes
and the big one is that they always go to is insulin.
Oh yeah.
That's a big one, insulin prices.
For sure. What was that? It was something going on with that like last year, right? Like a shot of vial insulin, it was up by, it was something crazy.
It was like hundreds of dollars here and it's like 35 globally.
For sure.
So
it's
Dupixent.
Oh, 3,800. I guess he did a quick
carton.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
It was something crazy like that, man.
Yeah.
So, bro. It was something I saw too, man, about that, man, about just being able to I think it was a brother in Panama. I saw it on Instagram, and some passport bros were interviewing him. He was in Panama.
Okay.
And he was like, I think he was doing security in Florida before he moved to Panama. And he was just saying how just for him to live, as far as the medications went, he said he couldn't even do it anymore. As far as, just spending his money just to survive, all his money just to live. You know what I mean? Paying for medication. You know what I'm saying? So that's it's definitely some stuff, man. But I'm just like you. I'm interested in see how this plays out, man.
Yeah.
Especially with these prices. You know what I mean? Because that's a lot of things when you get to talking to old folks. As much as old folks are supposed to have Medicare or whatever. That's what it's called, right? For old folks, Medicare. Because Medicaid is for anybody, but Medicare,
care is for seniors. Yeah. You see, I had to think about it. I get them mixed up sometimes, but you're right. Care is for the older,
and they still be having to pay for some medication. And even with that, you know what I mean? So, bro, subsidies and all that, I guess it ain't enough to survive sometime, man. So,
that's why they tell you got to have 2 milli to retire.
Right.
2 of
that is going to medication if you effed up, huh?
If you
Damn. Cold world, man.
It sure is the coldest.
But you mentioned something. You talked about the stock market. That was also something, and I hate to I'm not trying to make this a Trump episode or a Trump morning show, but we covering what's going on in the news, and that was one of the things he had mentioned or he implored or recommended Americans to start investing in the stock market. Correct. That's what you were reading earlier.
Yes.
Nothing specific, but you had we were talking about something earlier, and you were saying something about individuals investing, or excuse me, individually investing in certain stocks if you don't have a background in it or whatever, or have knowledge in it. Excuse me.
Correct. You're right. What it was, you're right. The article popped up that we were looking at, and Trump last Thursday suggested that Americans, that we start buying stocks now. And this weekend he did work out some restart.
Wait.
What?
Investing in the stock market is nothing new.
Stop it.
Bravo, you butt ventriloquist.
Stop it, man. I'm like, you had to hit the pause to antagonize somebody right quick.
It's just like dudes like this. They got baby oil in their hand at the desk or wherever they're at. They might be at work with baby oil in their hand, whacking off.
I am done.
Investing in the stock market is nothing new.
Correct. It's not anything new.
No shit. You know, neither is taking a bath, but I can tell you to take a bath right now, can I? GR, investing in the stock market is nothing new.
It's not.
This dude is whacking off with some baby. He's glad he's getting some attention too. Look at him.
Diddy's finest.
You know what these dudes that want attention, you know what they call them, right?
What?
Hoes. Go ahead though. Finish what you were saying, man.
Yeah. Referring back to the not new stock market that Trump was advising us to invest in because he felt there was an upcoming deal to be made with China, which I think they did over the weekend, where they're resetting the whole tariff thing. So, you know, with knowing that was probably coming down the pike, he's like, Americans, go invest in the stock market. And where you and I got into the conversations, we were talking about go invest in the stock market. But he's like, but I'm not telling you what stocks to go invest in, which he can't. He can't specifically call out any stocks that would be market manipulation, et cetera.
Absolutely.
And so that's when we got into the thing that, as you know, I've been going through these series exams, for securities in the securities industry registered by FINRA. So anyway, not that I am being an advisor, it's just that the merger acquisition company that I work for, we deal with a lot of private equity and venture capitalist firms. So it helps for us to all have these licenses. So that's the reason why I'm getting them. So with that being said, the main thing that I learned so far with these is when it comes to like equities, meaning like stocks, ETFs, options, things of that nature, the average person, meaning the average person that goes to work, clocks in, works hard for their money, it's probably not the best idea for them to go to Ameritrade or Robinhood and start trading their money as far as stocks and equities are concerned. Safer investment tools like bonds or whatever, have at it, because those are safe. They don't, especially government or municipal bonds. So I was bringing that up because having either a money guy, an advisor, or even a CPA or someone that helps you determine what, if you want to get into the market, determine what stocks to purchase is invaluable. It's like, yes, they're going to have a management fee, but that fee that you pay is probably going to be a lot lower than losses you can probably end up with. And the analogy I was using with you is an average person that does not go buy homes every day is not going to see the market and be able to make the same type of decision that you would as a licensed real estate investor. You're going to be able to know things about comps and appraised values, within the region. You're going to know about sales statistics. You're going to know all of these different things to look for that the average person that's not their profession, they're not going to know. So that's why with that story, with him saying, go and buy stocks, that is a good idea if you know what's getting ready to happen. But I would implore, if this isn't what you do for a living, making sure you got help in doing so.
So what's your thoughts on like 401ks and IRAs? Is that safe, or you?
Dude, and this is what we learned, like per per the freaking course, and this is like for selling variable annuities, etc., etc. They're like, when you get with your client and you're discussing retirement investments, they're like, before you go through any other products, you are to make sure that they have been fully invested in their employer's 401k program. And the reason why is because there are ridiculous amount of advantages over your 401k than anything you do outside of your employer. All of those contributions are pre-taxed, meaning that you don't even see it because they took it out before you even got your check. It was pre-tax, so then it's a tax deduction. But then the gains or the growth that it makes is also tax deferred. You don't pay any tax on that money until you pull it out. Yeah. So you get, and then those are tax advantages over your 401k program. But then you get the possibilities of employer contribution / matching. You don't have anybody matching your money on outside investments. So I can put in $100 and then my employer may match it up to 50%. Right. He put in another 50. You can't beat that. And all of this stuff is growing tax deferred. So yeah, I'm a total big believer in 401ks. Max them out. Mm-hmm. And then if you're older in age and you didn't start when you were younger, they'll allow you to put even more contributions in there, as they call a catch up. It's usually like $7,000 per year. You can do 8 if you're 50 and over. Mm-hmm.
That's right. You know.
Yeah, Big J in Texas, tax free, maxed that before anything. Big J know what's up. That's Trey, right. Yup.
Yeah, I got and if you, for those who don't know, if you do happen to leave that job, you can roll over that IRA. I mean, excuse me, that 401k or whatever, and still keep it. You know, you just won't have those contributions from your or that match from your employer. You know what I mean? So you guys that are wanting to do that or get into that. You know,
and they're safe too because of diversification. Like we got on this because Trump said go buy stocks.
Right.
A lot of your 401ks and your IRAs will invest in mutual funds, and those funds oftentimes will have a lot of individual securities inside of them, and they'll be from different sectors. So that way the money is spread out and it's not all into one stock or all into one sector, quote unquote. Therefore diversified.
100. I see somebody wants attention. I'm not gonna say nothing though. Don't say anything. Just read it. They want some attention in there. It's funny though, but I always tell people, you're watching us. We're not watching you. So, you know what I mean? You know, if you want to pay, if you want to super chat, I can read it though. Other than that, we're not gonna read that. You just gotta super chat, and we'll give you some.
Wow. That's nice.
We'll give you some attention if you super chat it. You know what I mean? Other than that, we're not gonna get into all that. Yeah. So, but just imagine, hey, I just want to take a break real quick. Just imagine people, they be at their keyboard, they be like,
well, I get it. Because it's, I mean, typing some keystrokes is a whole lot easier than actually like putting on some content and articulating yourself. So my thing is, here's my guess. My guess is if you drop the StreamYard link in the comment section, he probably won't click it.
He won't click it because he's a hoe. Or it might be a woman though. But anyway.
He probably won't. He or she, they probably, he, shim, they, them probably won't click it. You get down, JRS. It's pinned at the top. Oh God, yeah, man. They like the link is pinned at the top.
I think people like that. They have a mental. I don't want to spend too much time, but I think they really do have mental illness. You know what I'm saying? That because people that I don't like, I don't pay attention to, and I'm damn sure not gonna stick around. But yeah. Well, I guess you still there, bro? Oh yeah. Anyway, yeah, the QT Dub, man, we about to wrap this up, man. You know, not too much, you know, the week's coming up, guys. In the media, we got for all you Final Destination fans out here, you know, we got Final Destination in the movies coming out this Thursday evening. If you guys want to check it out, I think that's the only one I'm looking forward to this week. So definitely going to tune into that. This is going to be an exciting week, guys. We just had Mother's Day pass by. Now he'll be back, man. If not, we're about to wrap this up.
They just came to change my dang on air filter.
Oh yeah.
I had to open the door.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I was just
he didn't come on. I thought when I came back in here, somebody was gonna be in the box.
Yeah, no, they not. But anyway, that's it's comedians that want attention from men. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, I was just saying, man, you got Final Destination coming out this week. I don't know if you ever watched any of the Final Destinations, but come on, bro. This Thursday,
those are horror classics.
Yeah, Bloodlines. Tony Todd. I think that's his last movie.
Okay.
He died a few months ago. From stomach cancer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's that. But I don't know, man. What else we got? I know it's getting a little late. We already passed the 1 hour and 10 minutes. I think that's where we was at last time, man. So, you got anything else you want to add before we get up out of here, man?
I've got something that's somewhat of is pretty quick. It's somewhat of a follow-up from Friday.
Sure.
Not the exact same story. It's a different story, but it's related in subject matter. So remember, I think you led off last Friday with the Frontier ladies.
For sure.
Remember with the customer service, the customer he was a little late for check-in, but then it was the lot most extra with their response to it.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh Pirates at their stadium this weekend, they had an employee go a little bit above and beyond, maybe correcting some customer behavior. I wanted to see if you knew about it and get your opinion on it if you didn't. You hadn't seen this?
Is that the one where the dude, are they swinging? Are they fighting? Or he just gets in his face?
No, the employee is fighting. The customer is not.
Yeah, because if they're swinging, you probably not gonna need to play that, man. If they're fighting, you know what I'm saying?
No, the thing is, the dude actually, what happens is the dude, I think he's a beverage worker or whatever. He ends up hitting the dude with a belt.
I think I seen
like
that.
A straight old school look kid beat.
This is a tall black dude, right?
Yeah, it's a tall black guy. Just got his belt, just hitting this dude. You saw that? I
saw it. Yeah, I don't know if that'll fly on here though, man.
Well, no, I ain't even talking about the flying part. You got to put it on there. But I was my thing is did you see it? And the story was supposedly the customer was unruly with another a female, concession stand, person, and your boy straight up took his belt off and went to town on it.
Nah, I didn't see that one. I saw one dude and I saw it had something to do with Pittsburgh. He was like it was a little shorter dude, if I'm not mistaken. It was a taller black dude. He had on a vest.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Maybe I just saw that. I didn't play the whole thing, man. You know what I mean? But
I was just like, these dang employees getting out of, and of course he got fired.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I'm like, this is not a good time to be dark looking for no job.
Yeah.
I don't know why y'all don't know that. It's not.
You say it's not a good time to be dark looking.
No.
Damn. Hey man, I gotta put somebody putting hands on you, but even I feel like sometimes even when you do put hands on somebody after they put hands on you, you still gotta go. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Sometimes you lose.
Yeah, lose. I gotta get this off. I ain't getting punked up in here.
I ain't gonna lie though, it looked funny as hell though. I'm like, I have never seen a grown man hit another grown man with a belt. I have not seen that. I haven't.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to check that one out though, for real, man. Here when I get off here. Damn, it's almost 10:30, so I only got and I gotta be up there at noon. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. We got another morning showdown. QT Dub here, great show per usual. I appreciate everyone interacting. Hit that like button if you haven't hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to QT Dub's channel, The Independent Mail. You guys see it, and if you guys are watching the restream, go ahead again. Comment below your age, sex, location, where you guys are checking in from. Like to hear where you guys are, wanting a fellowship from. So much blessings and abundance. Anything else to add, bro, before we get out of here?
No, man. You guys have a great Monday, man. A good start to your weeks, and we appreciate you being out here, man. Till next time, peace.
But Sheezy, man. Peace, man. We're out of here. Later.